Good morning, everyone. Today we will be seeing your fourth bit exercises, that is creating React components. Okay, so here we are going to start creating a project. I have used the name to be as user dashboard. Okay, where it looks like this. Check the out. Here we need to. This is the user dashboard where we need to enter our name. Okay, and submit. So it has to change it dynamically to hello Madhu. Okay. This is our React application. So for this, I will tell you the first steps. Okay. The first thing is you need to create a new React project. Okay. So for that, you need to hope you know how to create a React project. Okay. So create a folder. Okay. In the folder, you open command prompt. There you run npx create hyphen react hyphen app, your application name. Okay. So that is, I'll type it here. Okay. So in the command prompt, wherever you are open a new folder, there you just type in npx create hyphen react create react app space, my application name is user dashboard. Okay, I'm typing here just to show you. Okay, so this is the command that you need to run. Once you run it, you will be viewing that something is buffering. Okay, and it installs say yes, type y, so that all the related packages will be installed. Okay, so here we are going to talk about the React. Next you say cd, come to the, after running that, come to your application, that is user dashboard has been will be created. Okay, user dashboard will be created, and you will be viewing node modules, source. Okay, git node package.json package log json into your application. Okay, now, and public folder will also be there. In the public folder, we are going to put in whatever images or logos what we are going to make use of. By default, you are going to get all these things. You can remove them, delete them, and place your logos if at all, if you are making use of any images or logos here in public folder. Okay, source folder, which consists of components folder. In the components folder, this we need to create. Okay, in the components folder, I am writing the front end part. Okay, greetings.js, user form.js. Okay, and app.js is the main application. Okay, and index.js, this is our index page. Okay, so these are all styling app.css, index.css, you can go through that. Okay, and this is how our application structure, our folder structure would be. Okay, let's start doing this. Okay, now let's know what is React. React is a popular JavaScript library for building a user interfaces, particularly when we are talking about single page applications, SPS. Okay, it allows you to create reusable components to handle dynamic data efficiently. Now, if we are going to see all these concepts, the key concepts here are React components, rendering HTML and JSX. So React components, I told you, a component, whenever we are saying a component, okay, these components are a reusable piece of UI that you can use throughout the application. Components can be thought of as JavaScript functions or classes that will be returning you HTML elements. Okay, there are two types of components: functional components and class components. In the modern React, we are making use of functional components. Okay, we are making use of functional component. This is a functional component of the application. Okay, here this is the functional component. This is the functional component where we are writing a function for it. Okay, functional components, these are JavaScript functions. These are JavaScript functions that will be written in JSX, that is JavaScript with XML. Okay, and class components are the ES6 classes, which will be extending React dot component and have more features such as state management and all when we are using class components. Okay. When it comes to functional component, a functional component is the simplest form of a component in React. And here, my component or any component, whatever we have given, that will be returning JSX. Okay, JavaScript with XML. Okay, when we are saying export default, if you see export default, what we are saying, export default user form. When we are writing at the end, when we are writing this one, it means that it is used to allow this component to be imported and used in other files. Okay, by saying this, what we are saying, user form is allowed to be used in any other uh, component. Okay, imported, that could be imported and used in any other files. Okay, and class components are also, you can see in the PDF that I have sent. Okay, and now when we are writing this class component is we are going to use like a class and an object methods. Okay, object where it will be using render method. Okay, now let's see rendering HTML in React. In React HTML like syntax we are going to use, that is JSX, using JSX. Okay, if you see here, we are trying to render here. Okay, render JSX is the syntax extension for JavaScript that will be allowing you to write HTML inside JavaScript. It's a core feature of React because it makes UI components easier to understand. Here, whatever we want to render, we have to put it in. See, this is just like our HTML tag, but we are going to use only one parent component. Okay, that is div. So, if you see in JSX, HTML like tags only, division headings are written within JavaScript. Behind the scenes, React converts it into regular JavaScript objects. Okay, and functions to manage this UI that you will be returning. See, if you notice, we are going to return a single parent element within the division, only one division. We are going to wrap multiple elements. If you see, we are wrapping multiple elements. Okay, yeah. In return, in main application, what we are returning, this is the parent. In the parent, one single parent tag only, we are rendering all these things. It must be written in a single parent element only. Multiple JSX elements should be wrapped in a parent element like a div, or you can use React fragments also. Fragments are this. Okay, in between these only you can put it. Okay, now rendering a component to DOM, React uses function called react DOM dot render. Okay, react render to render a component into specific DOM element. So that's why we will be making use of react DOM. Okay, see, react DOM, we are trying to import react DOM. Okay, from React DOM client. Okay, it will be helping us to render it. Okay, a specified DOM element, this typically happens in index.js file only in your React project. That is where index.js we are trying to import React DOM. Okay, and in app.js, Okay. See, app component. See, here we are used. Okay. See, React dot React DOM dot render in the root we are putting, and re- application has been strictly wrapped in between React strict mode. Okay, if you see in this way, we have been wrapping our application document dot get element by root. Okay, which looks like our HTML only. Okay, next is passing props to components. Props means object. Okay, so here our greeting component is there, which receives properties. Okay, and uses props.name to display dynamic content. Okay, it is using the props to display the dynamic content. Okay, so if you go through, now the greeting component is called twice with a different name values passed as props. Okay, and adding event handling, like whenever we are um, uh, pressing a button, clicking a button, it will be triggering to handle the click function. Okay, in this way, like first we are creating a React component, functional component we are creating here, and using JSX we are trying to define the UI structure in the component, that is here. This is our UI structure in the component. Next step, we are rendering the component to the DOM using React DOM dot render. Okay, that we have done in index.js. Okay, next we are passing dynamic data to components using props. Okay, so dynamic data we are passing through props properties. That means those are objects. Okay, so here we are passing target dot value, whatever name has been given, whatever value has been given, we are saying. Okay, now first component we have created is a form to input the user's name, then display a personalized greeting using the submitted name. Event handle should be that form submission. Whenever the form has been submitted dynamically, you need to update the greeting. And for props, you are passing the username to the greeting component. Here we are using use state, used use state hook, which is used to manage the state of the input field, that is name. Whenever the user submits the form, it triggers the handle submit function, which calls the on submit function passed via props to send the name to the parent component. This component will be here, greetings.js component will be displaying hello with the name that has been passed. Okay, so the greeting components checks if the name prop exists. If no name is submitted yet, it prompts the user to enter a name. Once the name is provided, it displays a personalized greeting hello, whatever name we have given. App component is the main file, which we will use the user form and greeting components inside the app.js. See, here we are importing user form greeting. Okay, and this manages the state of the user's name using use state. Okay, in app.js, user form is responsible for taking user input and passing it to app via on submit. On submit, it is passing the name. Okay, user form, if you see what we have written, on submit, it is passing the name and the value, whatever it has been entered. Okay, next is greetings, which receives the name and as a prop and displays the personalized message. Now, styling part, we have used CSS for testing the application. Once you have started your React application, Okay, now make the changes in app.js, whatever that content we have written. Okay, by default you might be getting something. Select that and remove it and paste the code that I have sent. Okay, in this way you will be seeing, see, after running saying npm start here in your terminal. Okay, your application will be started. Okay, starting the development server and it gets opened in the web browser where the applications looks like this. Okay, if I write something, then it says the same. So here how the user form is making use, or user form is rendering there, and it is taking the user value, and when you click on the submit it is being passed to the um, here greetings by name we are passing. Okay, it is dynamically changing here. It is to render on submit, it is setting the name and greeting is being called. Okay, with the name greeting.js is being called with the name hello. That's why we are able to see dynamically it is changing, right? Thank you all, keep learning.